Good morning, friends! It's your girl, Kelsey, and I know you come to me for parodies and jokes, but I've been looking around at everything that's going on in the world, and it's not funny. I'm trying out this new series where I cover the current events in this year, 2020 BR, the book of Revelation. Today's video is for conservative Christians. If that's not you, don't watch this. You're not gonna like it. It's gonna make you mad. And I'm not out here to change your mind. I don't understand keyboard warriors on both sides who just wait for someone to post something they don't agree with.
And no, she did not just say that.
Life is too short, my friends. This week alone, let's see what we got to cover. Actual fire natives, Timbalands, Despacito, pedo flicks, manipulated media, one of the most groundbreaking peace accords of all time that somehow didn't even make the primetime news on some channels. But what we're gonna hone in on today is how both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden this week said Harris administration. Not Biden administration, Harris administration. What? So, Christian conservatives, as it becomes more obvious that we are up against extremist Kamala Harris, who voted left of Senate Democrats 97% of the time, according to a detailed vote-by-vote analysis you can find at voteview.com, the silent majority cannot stay silent anymore. And not just because I want company out here. It's so cold and lonely out here on this limb. I've lost so many followers. So understand I'm not asking you to post publicly or wear a MAGA hat and get yourself fired. We don't have liberal privilege where we can wear and say whatever we want and not worry about any PR issues. But I am saying, in conversation with friends, family, private groups, or public forums, if you can, it's time to speak up, and here are 3 reasons why, and number 3 is gonna blow your mind. Number 1, as you may know, we have a bit of an image problem. Those who don't agree with us are talking about us basically nonstop. The picture they're painting ain't pretty. Adding to this problem is that it seems that those who may or may not exemplify the absolute worst of us, we've seen their embarrassing posts. The ugly shoe fits and they're wearing it all over the internet. They're the only ones speaking up. So the youngest voters, for many of them right now, that's the only image of conservatism they've ever seen. That's all they know about Republicans. But I know you're smart and kind, and you look great today, by the way, in your fresh shirt. I know you're on day 3 pants, so am I. It's fine. We need the best of us, loving, caring, intelligent people to stand up in their own communities because we are fighting for the communities that need good policy, which brings me to number 2. It is said of Republicans that we only care about ourselves. We don't care about the poor, the sick, the lowly, the marginalized, that we are only pro-birth and not pro-life, and we can't see past our own tinted SUV windows in the school pickup line in Pleasantville/Stepford, USA. And guess what? They're right. But not because of our policy preference. They're right because we are remaining silent. I grew up in a red state, okay? I didn't think my vote mattered very much. As a young adult, I didn't get engaged or pay much attention. Well, I moved to a blue state, and boy howdy am I paying attention now. Let me tell you what I realized back in California when the county next to us shut down a whole apartment complex and would not let them leave until they'd been tested for the virus. Forced testing is what we're talking about, okay? I want you to imagine all the scary things like that probably won't happen where you live. Forced vaccinations, the removal of a large chunk of the police force, a crazy increase in your taxes, the removal of blue-collar jobs because the town factory can't keep up with the regulations, the extinction of mom-and-pop local shops, the increase in looting and rioting just left unchecked, the end of school choice, which at its full realization, by the way, means banning private schools, banning charter schools, and yes, banning homeschooling, mamas. Put down your homemade kombucha and listen to me. I can hear my relatives saying, oh, that'll never happen in our state, no matter who's elected. And maybe not, but it will happen in US inner cities. Remember the forced testing I told you about? That was government housing, y'all. It was government housing. The first groups to get hit with policies that we know hurt America are the most vulnerable and needy Americans. Think of the scared mom who has no choice but to let her baby get this quickly produced shot of who knows what, or she doesn't get her check from the government. Imagine the young teenage girl who has to walk home at night, can't depend on her family at night, and now she has no police to call, or the dad who saved every penny for private school, and then he's told, I'm sorry, you can't give your son a better education. By staying silent on the effects of bad policy, we are not taking care of the least of these. We are not loving our neighbor. I posted earlier this week, I went to my first protest. Your girl made posters. It was about the decisions the local school board has been making in my district. I didn't need to go, and frankly, I didn't want to go. My family will be fine. We can adapt. We are so blessed, and yes, privileged. But what the school board was doing hurts parents with special needs kids. It hurts single parents. It hurts parents scraping by just so they can pay to live in this district so their kid can go to a good school and they're working 2 jobs. This affects them. It is time to stand up for the least of these, especially children, and let's not forget the children in the womb.
Come on, preach, Sister Kelsey.
Lastly, remembering that liberal policies hurt the neediest among us. Number 3, you need to speak up because whether we like it or not, humans are conformists. I know you think you're a rebel and you're strong. You're not. Listen to this. This is sort of mind-blowing to me, and I want to make it clear. I'm not saying with this example that all liberal ideas are wrong. I'm saying that moderates and young people are stuck in this echo chamber of liberalism. In this classic psychological study by Dr. Solomon Asch on conformity and opinion, an unknowing participant was put into a group with 7 plants. They were clearly giving the wrong answer to a problem on the table. On average, about 1/3 of the participants who were placed in that situation went along and conformed with the clearly incorrect answer. Over the 12 clinical trials, about 75% of participants conformed to the wrong answer at least once. Only 25% of participants never conformed. I know what you're thinking though, because you're smart, right? This is what I thought. They're just saying they believe the wrong thing. They weren't actually believing the wrong thing. Well, Dr. Gregory Burns did a more recent version of this study with an MRI, and the regions of the brain that are entirely devoted to perception lit up like a mom who wants to start hanging stockings before Halloween's dadgum Christmas tree. So yes, in many cases, they did, in fact, change their own belief. So what we've got now is undecideds, moderates, the uninformed, maybe conservatives who aren't sure anymore, and they're in a room with all those 7 people saying values and issues don't matter anymore. All that matters is Trump. All law enforcement as we know it should be abolished. Or they're saying things like, no, that's not a human being. That fetus is part of a woman's body. My question to you is, will you be willing to stand up in that room and say you disagree? I hope you will, privately or publicly, but lovingly and without name calling or eye rolling. Don't be adding those passive aggressive emojis on the end. It's not helping our cause. I want to give you a bonus reason. When Trump wins by a landslide, because we out here, Trump train left the station, they will not accept the win because no one they know openly said they voted for Trump. They will say voter fraud because so many of us liked and shared and posted whatever was trending at the time, even if we weren't quite sure that we agreed with it or believed in it, but we don't want to be bullied. So we just fell right into the party line all the way up to the ballot box.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Ha, 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 yeah.
Listen, it's scary out in these feeds, folks. I get it because I spend too much time scrolling through it myself. But remember, most Americans want to solve the same problems. We got to come at this from a place of love because we want to solve the same problems. We just believe in a very different method by which to solve those problems. As conservatives, we believe that liberal policies are dangerous, maybe even detrimental. So let me direct you to Proverbs 31:8-9, which says, "Open your mouth for the mute, for the rights of all the unfortunate." Open your mouth! Judge righteously and defend the rights of the afflicted and needy. The Bible don't play, y'all. And if you face personal risk by speaking up, remember Matthew 25:40, the king replied, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." So remember who it is you're speaking up for. Stay hopeful, you guys. Trust in the Lord and have a great weekend. For resources and links mentioned in this video, get an email digest of this video by signing up at kelseyhumphreys.com/notfunny.